Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Susie from Threadquarters. Thanks for joining me again today. Today I'm going to be showing you what I got done in my Hell No UFO month. So if you want to see what I finished, then keep watching. Well, just before I get started, please do remember, if you are enjoying my videos, please do give them a thumbs up. I always appreciate it. And if you always want to know when a new video is uploaded, then click on the subscribe button and the bell and you'll get a notification when a new video is uploaded. I really do appreciate it so much. To all my lovely subscribers and any new ones out there, welcome and thanks so much for following along my sewing adventure. So if you remember, I announced that September I was dedicating to getting my UFOs or unfinished objects done. One of my confession videos was sharing with you how many UFOs I have accumulated. Quite a lot, really. But I was happy to see I wasn't the only one in a similar predicament. If you didn't catch that video, there'll be a link down below to it, so please do check that out. And also I actually did another video saying, okay, we're actually going to do it in September. Tried to get everyone on board as much as possible. I've been loving following along on Instagram because we made up the hashtag Hell No UFOs, and loads of you have been using that hashtag, as have I, and we're getting our UFOs done. So I didn't get every UFO finished this month. I have to admit that I did have a couple of commitments of other things I had to sew at the beginning of September, which meant that I didn't spend a full month dedicated to finishing off my unfinished objects, but I think I've done quite well. I certainly have made a significant dent in the pile. So I'm wearing one and I've got these. I'll do cutaways as I talk through all of them as well, so you can see the garments on me, and I'll do mini reviews if I think, or for the patterns if they need them. I'll start off with my gable top in this absolutely stunning art gallery fabric that I picked up from Satisfaction. I'm not sure if she has any more. If she does, I will link it down below. But I just couldn't resist it. It is absolutely stunning. I think I ordered 1.5 meters from her, but yeah, I think I got the very last meter. But she got in touch and said, I only have 1 meter left, do you still want it? I was like, I'll try and squeeze a gable top out of 1 meter. And I did. Fair bit of pattern Tetrising, I love that phrase, required to do this, and as you can see it's shorter length sleeves because of it, but I actually really like this length. I think it's quite flattering. It's slightly longer than your average short sleeve, but it's not a 3/4 length as such either, just slightly different. I do like it a lot. I might have talked to you before that I have slightly adapted the gable top. Maybe you can see in some of the cutaways that it's looser around the waist than the pattern calls for. I have taken away some of the shaping, so it's a bit more relaxed, covers my tummy a little bit more, and I absolutely love it. And of course my classic curved hem has to go in there as well, which again I just think is so flattering for larger hips. And yeah, what I want to do going forward with this pattern that I've slightly adapted is change up the neckline. So I do love this boat neckline, but I also like more classic curved necklines. So essentially I'd like to develop it into my perfect go-to t-shirt, so keep watching for that. I'm hoping to see if I can get that done. So right, let's see. I will admit that some of these aren't 100% finished. There's a few little bits of hand stitching that needs to be done, but you know, I will get them done. I'm going to go on to this skirt, which, as I say, there's a little bit of hand stitching still needs to be done. Now, if you've been following along for a while, you'll know that this is part of a spring capsule wardrobe I planned on doing back in spring, and I never really did it. So, but I will probably end up making all those things, but I just was over planning for what I could actually achieve in like a few months time kind of thing. So this is a pattern that is essentially a pencil skirt. I used the pencil skirt pattern from Gertie's new book for better sewing. I'll link it below if you haven't come across that. I have made that pencil skirt a few times before. I knew it fitted me really well, so that was great jumping off point for this. It's got double darts, which I just think is a really lovely feature. Double darts in the front and double darts in the back. There's a lot of darts. I got a bit fed up sewing darts doing this. But yeah, so then I just sort of guessed where I wanted this cut to be, and then just a rectangular gathered skirt going into it. I didn't want an awful lot of gathers in there either. It is basically trying to recreate this picture here that I lusted over on Pinterest for many years. I've had that pinned for I don't know how long. And again, this fabric was from my stash, bought specifically to recreate this skirt picture because I spotted it, I think maybe in Ditto Fabrics. And as soon as I saw it, I thought that is a dead ringer for that skirt, and I had to buy it, and then it sat in my stash for ages and I never actually made it up. So I have now. You'll see here I need to attach a hook, an eye, and also a little bit of hand sewing here as well, because I don't really want to top stitch the waistband. You might also see from in here that it is underlined rather than lined, in a lovely soft cotton lawn that I keep in my stash for lining or underlining. And I did that for the whole of the skirt because, there you go, because it is see-through and it needed some sort of lining or underlining. So, but yeah, I actually really like it, and I've kept it quite a long length, which is unusual for me. I don't really do midi, but I tried it on to figure out what length, and I actually really liked it, the length that it was. Excuse my phone, sorry. So yeah, but you know, if I decide that I don't really like it that length, I can easily shorten it as well. And the other problem is it really is a springy skirt, so how much use am I going to get out of this until next spring? Probably not a lot, but at least I have something cute in my wardrobe waiting for springtime. I love it! It's a little crease, sorry about that. This is the Beatrix top by made by Ray. I'll link all of these patterns down below if you haven't come across them. And this was from the remnants of fabric that I used to make a Sewaholic Camby dress years ago, which I really love and doesn't fit me anymore. Sad times. But yeah, I had just enough to squeak out this top, and I absolutely love it. I'll be making loads more of these Beatrix tops. It's a really lovely fit on me. I actually didn't have to alter it at all, which is amazing. It is not lined, so it is slightly sheer. Not enough that it's an issue. The facings I did do in that same white lawn that I talked about for the skirt, because I didn't have enough to do it. Also, I think facings in that you would see the little ladies showing through and it wouldn't be nice. But I tried my absolute best. I got them in the middle, I think pretty well, in the middle. There's no pattern matching at the sides because I just absolutely didn't have any ability to do that. I did try and pattern match at the back and I did okay, I think. Not 100%. These legs are slightly squashed, but not too bad. I've got these sort of sun and water things running down the button placket, and this button placket is fake. It's not fake, it's real, but I've just sewn the buttons on, and that's that. I might go in and top stitch it down actually, because that's sort of gaping a little bit and that's annoying. But if you know, if you've been following along for a while, you'll know that I have a love-hate relationship with the buttonhole feature on my sewing machine. And quite frankly, I knew I didn't need to unbutton these buttons to get the top on and off. It's a really big neckline and it's a loose fit. So I just thought, no buttonholes, thanks very much, and just sewed them on. And these are just fun little buttons that I had in my stash. I thought they were fun because they were the yellow of the caps, and then I just stuck one little pink one in just for novelty fact, and that's it really. They are a bit childish, but then the fabric is a bit childish in a fun way as well. So yeah, I really love it. I'm really pleased that that's in my wardrobe. Then I've got this one here, which is New Look 6483, a real classic shell shift top basically. And I ended up doing the jewel neckline, which I thought I might not suit, but I'm happy enough with it. I added little slits in the side just for detail, and I haven't yet sewn in a little loop and button to that, so I need to go and do that as well. But the facings are done in the self fabric. Yeah, and oh yeah, that's what I made this to go with. Again, it's part of that spring capsule that I was going to make and then never got around to doing it. But the plan was to have the skirt and the top together, and it is very cute, if I do say so myself. Really pleased with that. And I'm just popping this in to show you how well my gable top has ended up matching this skirt. I am just so pleased with this coincidence really, and I just think they look so cute together. Really, really pleased with it. And I finally got my pussy bow blouse made. It's so over at Pussy Bow Blouse. Out of this, I mean, absolutely beautiful. I love it so much. It's a beautiful crepe with the cutest little cocktail drawing sketches on them. Just perfect for wearing, all dressed up for cocktails, a night out with having cocktails. With cocktails on my shirt. So this is completely French seam because I just thought it was a much nicer finish for this fabric than just to overlock it, including the arms, what do you call it, including the armholes, which is the first time I've ever done that, and I was a bit nervous doing it because you really do have to think, concentrate when you're doing the first line of stitches to make sure that you have the fabric the right way around, if you know what I mean. But I am so pleased with the finish. You're probably not going to see that. Let me see, I'll just turn it inside out and I'll show you. Okay, so yeah, so there you go. That's the French seams on the armholes, and I love it, and will definitely be doing that going forward whenever, you know, I think it's suitable, because it's a really, really beautiful clean finish on the inside, and I'm so pleased with that. So in terms of this pattern, I would say that the neckband is a bit tricky to sew. In particular, just this V point here, getting the ties to meet neatly and perfectly in that V is quite difficult. It is a little bit tricky, so do beware of that. You also have to slip stitch the inside down by hand as well. There might be a way that you could do that by machine, but it probably wouldn't be very neat, so I don't think I would recommend it. Especially if you're doing a beautiful slinky fabric, it probably wouldn't have a nice finish if it was done on the machine. And then also, I have to admit, look, I didn't put, there's supposed to be a rouleau loop, I don't know if I pronounced that right, in here, and then a button. I'm not very good at that, to be honest. I am not very good at fiddly sewing. There's a confession. So I didn't bother, and to be honest, the way I'm going to be wearing this shirt, more than 100% likely, is I'm going to roll up the sleeves, so I would never need to use that anyway. Plus, I did make these sleeves a little bit shorter than the pattern piece because I wanted to squeak out or squeeze in a little Ogden. There we go. Again, sorry it's a little bit creased. I'll try and have it ironed for the cutaways. But yeah, so I did manage to do that and I really love it. It's just so lovely. Again, for a similar reason, it sounds like I go out for drinks all the time. I really don't. But when I do, I always struggle with what I have in my wardrobe to wear because nearly everything I own is very casual these days. So it is something that I needed to focus on. So yeah, so the way you can squeeze in an Ogden is by doing your facings in a different fabric, not contrasting, just a different fabric. And because this fabric is quite sheer, like for example for the Pussy Bow blouse, I really am going to have to wear a nude bra underneath that. Even a white bra, you can see it, so a nude bra is the way to go for that. So again, because I held up the length that I thought would be the facings, and you could see the line straight across, so I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to lengthen the facings to nearly full length. So there's essentially a lining. So here I'm just going to show you. That's the inside, and there you go. It's just ever so slightly, about an inch shorter than the outside fabric. And this is just some really beautiful ivory lining fabric that I actually had in my stash left over from making my wedding reception dress. So it was really quite special to be working with this again. It's not silk, but it is a higher quality lining fabric than I would normally use. I can't remember exactly what the composition of it is, but it is lovely quality. So it does feel like a very, very special camisole. I did a rolled hem on both the lining and the main fabric, and I used my roll hem foot, which I have a love-hate relationship with, definitely. It is really tricky to get going, it's really tricky to do perfectly, but when it is done perfectly, it is beautiful. Beautiful. So it's not the most perfect rolled hem I've ever done. That bit there I'm showing you is really good actually, but there you can see that I didn't catch it underneath, and there as well. So just admitting the truth to you guys, just to show you. The other thing is this is done with French seams on the inside as well. And because I have tried this before, I knew that I had to do the rolled hem first and then do the side seams, rather than do the side seams and then hem it, because there's no way you can get a French seam underneath a rolled hem, to go through a rolled hem foot. So there's a little tip for you if you want to try it yourself. And I think that's it. But I think that was pretty good. How many items is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I ticked off 6 UFOs this month, and to be honest, that was really in 2 weeks. So I think that was pretty good going. Obviously, none of them were starting from scratch. So it's not like I made 6 things in 2 weeks from scratch. Just bear that in mind. I still have a lot of UFOs that need to get done. I definitely did tackle the easier ones. There's still jeans in there that need to get done. There's a Cheyenne tunic that is just cut out, no sewing is done, but it's got double gauze, so it's making me a bit nervous to do the placket on. But I will do it because I know it will be beautiful and I really want to get it done. But going forward, what I think I'm going to do, because I'm absolutely itching to start sewing some autumnal makes, and also maybe getting into making some coats I'll do a video on that in a next week or the week after, I'm not sure exactly when. But what I think I'll do is I'll probably do maybe one or two new makes, and then make myself go back and tackle one UFO before I move on and do another new make, so to speak. So I think that's the way forward. I think that's also how I'm going to approach my fabric stash situation. Did you see my confessions video about my fabric stash? And I was saying I'm going to be going on a fabric ban. Now I have been very good, but I was sort of trying to decide in that video if I was going to not buy fabric again for, say, a year or something like that. A lot of you were saying, that's crazy, you can't do that. I agree, I really can't. I just can't. I really need to get my stash under control though, so I think going forward what I'm gonna do is maybe like for every 2 or 3 pieces of fabric I use from my stash, I'm allowed to buy 1 piece new. Something like that. I haven't got it set in stone, and I don't think I am going to do it set in stone, but just for my own peace of mind, that's sort of roughly the way I'm going to approach it. So if you do see me with some new fabric, that's my justification. Also, speaking of fabric, I don't know if you've been following me on Instagram. This is my handle. If you don't, please do. But what I've been doing, because I've not been buying fabric, and I felt really bad because, you know, I like to support small, independent fabric companies because, you know, shop small, it's very important. I thought a fun way of supporting them would be every Friday I do a thing on Instagram called Friday Fabric Lust, and I each week I pick an independent fabric company, and from them I will pick maybe 4 fabrics from their shop that I absolutely love, and I pair them with patterns that I think they would go really nicely together. So sort of like fantasy shopping in their shop. I don't actually buy these fabrics, I just take the images from their website and I do a little mashup with a pattern image as well. And I sort of do that. And then I also have been starting to contact them and say, do you want to offer a little discount? And more often than not they say yes. So if you fancy getting a little discount from any of those shops, then do keep an eye on my Instagram on Fridays to see who's going to be up next and what discount you can get. That was a bit of a tangent, sorry guys. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. And how did you guys get on with your UFOs? Did you get loads done? Are you really pleased? I'm so pleased. I really do feel a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. It feels fantastic. Plus now I have these things in my wardrobe. I get to finally wear them. I will more than likely be doing more Hell No UFOs. I'm still going to be using that hashtag going forward, definitely, because I've got loads more to finish. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget, thumbs up. Do subscribe to keep up to date with my other videos, and thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate it, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye guys!